Astrology. There is perhaps no more dynamic and provocative figure than the fire horse, a creature of uncontrollable energy, untamed independence, and incendiary charm. Born only once every 60 years, people who are imbued with the spirit of the fire horse are seen as fiery revolutionaries, driven by passion and destined to ride through life with an untamed fire in their hearts. The Chinese zodiac system, fire plus horse equals legend. The Chinese zodiac isn't just about animals. It's a beautifully complex system that also combines the 12 animal signs with 5 natural elements, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, to form a 60-year cycle. Both the animal and elemental sign affect the zodiac of each person. The horse symbolizes movement, independence, and enthusiasm. The fire element signifies passion, action, courage, and transformation. When the two forces are joined together, form one of the strongest and most charismatic personalities in all of Chinese astrology, the fire horse. People born in 1966 or 2026, next time, are fire horses. But the most legendary fire horse year is 1966, which is often surrounded in both aura and dread, especially in East Asia. The fire horse year myth and fear. In East Asian cultures, particularly China and Japan, the fire horse year, 1966, is infamous. Why? thanks to the traditional belief that fire horse women are just too strong-willed, defiant, and even dangerous, so widespread a notion that birth rates plummeted in 1966 in a number of East Asian countries. Why the drastic reaction? Fire horse women, by legend, were considered to bring bad luck to families and husbands because they were so independently fierce and would not fit into conventional roles. Naturally, this is an outmoded and sexist belief today, but it indicates the tremendous energy attached to this zodiac combination. In real life, fire horses, both men and women, are not dangerous, but catalytic. Game changers, trailblazers, and forces of nature, they refuse to settle for a life less than extraordinary. Personality of the fire horse. The fire horse is a rebel with a cause, a breathtaking presence, and a whirlwind of energy. Born to lead, never to follow, and they do it with dramatic fanfare. 1. Bold and fearless. Fire horses are risk takers. They don't shy away from risks, they seek them out. A new business, a move to another country, or a fight for a cause, they throw themselves wholeheartedly into it. They are often entrepreneurs, artists, activists, or revolutionaries. They thrive in situations where others would draw back. 2. Unstoppable passion. Ruled by fire, they burn with passion. In love, in career, in life, they never hold back. When they fall in love, it's head over heels. When they commit to a dream, they'll sacrifice anything to see it through. But just as fire will warm or burn, depending on the handling, fire horses can be warm-hearted or volatile. 3. Highly intelligent and visionary. Fire horses have inquisitive, quick minds. They're pioneers, always a few paces in front of the pack. They see the world not for what it is, but for what it could be. Many fire horses are drawn to science, technology, art, or politics, where they can push limits and make an impact. 4. Fiercely independent. Freedom is everything for a fire horse. They hate to be restricted or bossed around. That makes them poor followers but great leaders, once they're balanced and don't let pride turn into arrogance. 5. Charismatic but temperamental. Fire horses can light up a room. They're generally the party animal, drawing others to their vibrant energy naturally. Yet their moods can swing wildly. They're passionate, all right, but they must learn to control their temper and impatience. Love and relationships. Fire horses are passionate, exciting, and generous in love, but also unpredictable. They crave deep emotional and physical connection, yet they won't hang around if they're bored, controlled, or disrespected. Their perfect mates must be secure, tolerant, and open to giving them space. Best matches: tiger, dog, goat. These signs fuel their fire without dousing their flames. Challenging matches: ox, rat, rooster. These signs will either be unable to keep up or clash with their confidence. Career and purpose. Fire horses aren't for the ordinary trail. They need careers that offer independence, action, and innovative direction. They work best in fluid, fast-paced environments and have a tendency to break their own rules. Ideal careers: entrepreneur/CEO, politician or activist, actor/musician/performer, inventor/engineer/scientist, travel blogger/adventurer, motivational speaker or coach. Their secret weapon: inspiration. Fire horses inspire others to believe in something more and act decisively. Strengths and dark side. Strengths: magnetic charisma, courage and risk-taking, creative genius, natural leadership, loyal to causes and people they love deeply. Challenges: impatience, hot temper, challenging authority, struggling with routine, afraid of vulnerability. To thrive, fire horses must learn emotional maturity, long-term thinking, and the power of stillness. Their fire must be channeled, not extinguished. Feng Shui and luck for fire horses. To feed their energy and good fortune, fire horses can use Feng Shui elements that harmonize with their nature. Lucky colors: red, orange, gold, purple. Lucky numbers: 3, 7, 9. Lucky directions: south, southeast. Best seasons: summer, July particularly. Lucky items: fire-inspired symbols, phoenix, sun, flame motifs, gold coins, red candles. Their living environments should reflect warmth, light, and abundant creativity. Open spaces, artwork, and vibrant colors keep fire horses lively and focused. Famous fire horses. There are quite a few influential people born under the sign of the fire horse, assertive people who changed the world. Cindy Crawford, 1966, supermodel and businesswoman. Gordon Ramsay, 1966, passionate celebrity chef. Mike Tyson. Halle Berry, 1966, Oscar-winning actress. Each one of them reflects the fire horse's charisma, passion, and determination. Final thoughts: the legacy of the fire horse. The fire horse is more than a zodiac sign. It's a symbol of revolution, a catalyst for change, and a burning beacon of individuality in a world that occasionally requires conformity. To be born a fire horse is to be born for something else. It is to be unapologetically bold, to be willing to gallop into the void even when everyone else is too scared to walk the path. They are dreamers, doers, disruptors, wild-hearted ones who don't just live life. They ignite it.
Absolutely. It's the year of the fire horse, and if you're in alignment, hopefully, but I believe you will definitely experience a lot of the things we've been listening right now. But remember, you can download our app, get your supplements, get your Apple clothing with the Blackwood Fire Radio logo on it. It's your girl, your son, Lungoria, and today we're talking about food is a weapon. And definitely do know one individual, a globalist, who's actually been pushing that agenda in Africa, all over the world. Not only Bill Gates, and we did have a conversation where he says they are creating artificial meat to replace cows. I also came to kind of talking about the um, family planning that women should take so that women cannot give birth this much because they're trying to actually decrease the population in Africa. And also, we also did have a conversation. Oh, we've been talking about this on the Blackwood Fire Radio Network, where Bill Gates' highly controversial geoengineering plan to block out the sun and cool the earth. Just a lot of agendas that he's been coming up with, and also the fact that there was a documentary exposing agenda to remove meat from the American diet. And we'll talk about more about these agendas over here on the show because the conversation is about food, which is always used, has been used as a weapon in the world. And it did also have another conversation when basically I've mentioned it where Bill Gates did buy Apple Cider Company and changed the ingredient. So they have been using each and every way to actually try and decrease the population in the world. But right away, right now, we did also have the other positive part about food being used as a weapon, and also how food always has been used as a healing substance. And also, we know the one and only Dr. Sabi, who was right, and the fact that also we didn't know or really what happened to him, but this guy came up with solutions to heal a lot of diseases that are actually also created. So we're going to start with that and also go to another conversation where Joshua Maponger is talking about food. But I'll actually start with that so we can definitely delve in to the one and only Yaki, who has been a pioneer of talking about eating healthy and why, most importantly, Africans should have a very, very healthy diet, and how any other type of foods have been used to actually kill and destroy.
The human body as we have it is not only a physical body. We also have a mental body. We also have a an emotional body. We also have a spiritual body. Before I go very far, he who controls what you read controls what you think. The diet of all of us, the final product of how we behave, is informed by a variety of activities in our psychological space, in our mental space, in our emotional space, and in our mental space, including our cultural orientation. So by the time you say, I think, or I am saying, half the time, it has nothing to do with what you're thinking. It's what your culture says, it's what your father says, it's what your church says, it's what your community says, and many times you're actually a passenger in your own bus. Question for you, who is driving your bus? What quality of diet are we eating emotionally? People do stuff to you. They have a package, warehouse in your space, emotional space, of who has done what to you. I've grown up enough to know. Some of you right now can visit that box right now. In less than 5 minutes, tears will start falling on your cheeks. There's some prisoners who are locked up in that corner. You cannot attend to. People who have done you bad. Hello? Done you bad. Can I be honest with you? Some of them know it. Hallelujah. Some of them don't know. Some of them don't even have a clue. It's you every time you see them. And worse still, when you got those people in that package, their success is your pain. Their laughter is your tears. Because once you lock someone in a prison of unforgiveness, you become the prisoner in front of the door. Unfortunately, your prison has no door. You are the door. And you can't leave the door while they're sleeping in peace. You can't let them go. Hear me well. Forgiveness does not do good to the other person. It does good to you. So how about looking at your prisoners and say, go free? Guess what? Their freedom is your freedom. For the first time in your life, stand up from the prison. Tell the prisoner, you're on your own. There's no door. I am going. And walk away. You may find that forgiveness is the biggest freedom you've ever experienced in your life. But are you aware that all of us, after life has injured us, emotionally, we carry a whip to hit the next innocent person over the last guilty one? So many of us in life would mess up our emotional space by feeding on the diet of the wrong people that have injured us. I said, men cannot
Absolutely, that's it.
eat by bread alone. Going somewhere else. Your emotional diet determine your relationships that are going to be running the rest of your life. What are you feeding emotionally? Some of us can no longer laugh. Some of us can no longer love. Some of us can no longer be happy. Some of us can no longer trust. Some of us, because something happened. Emotional diet influences the quality of your relationships. So why do you have less friends? Why are you angry? Why are you emotionally locked up? Why are you not laughing out loud? What happened? You may find that the diet you are feeding to your emotion actually destroys you more and more. Number two, mental diet. We already spoke about light information that we feed in our heads. Information that we collect determines. Oh, I love this one. When the software is messed up, the face is beautiful. Hardware suffers. Can I say that slowly? When the software is messed up and the lights are off here, the hardware suffers to compensate for the darkness that is in the head. So many of us would rather have our hardware manage our software when in fact our software must be managing our hardware. The quality of our thinking will determine the quality of our choices that we make from day to day. The quality of our mental diet will mess up our decision. The quality of our emotional diet will mess up again the quality of our relationships. The quality of your emotional diet, the quality of your mental diet, the quality of your social diet. That the diet of the human nature cannot only be limited to single columns of spirituality and neglecting other areas of life. If you just major in terms of your diet, you become a superzilla. If you major only in spiritual food, that those who are so spiritual in their pursuit of heaven, everything else is now become demonic. I must pray for you that the Lord must kill you very quickly, and then you go where you want to go. Because some of us are still going to be here for a long time, and we are not sad yet. We are still happy to be here until the fullness of time. Some of us will just become intellectuals, feeding our minds intellectually. You end up becoming snobs. Those who just know and know and know. And Solomon says, to the reading of books, there's no ending. Too much reading, where is the mind? You might actually end up so educated and yet so stupid. Actually, universities produce educated fools. Those who know more about things and very little about themselves. And ultimately, those who major in social life only.
We don't have a conversation of the African diet or the ancient African diet. And I see here they're saying they were primarily plant-based, nutrient-dense, and highly localized, featuring staples like millet, sorghum, and yams, complemented by indigenous leafy greens. And I love that fact, like a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruits. That's why we do have amazing healthy supplements on our website. Check that out on www.blackcotfireradionetwork.com. You get your sea moss, you get your ashwagandha, you get your aloe vera for the ladies, the likes of shea butter, and also beetroot. So we definitely understand in the ancient African time, literally the diet was primarily plant-based, leafy greens, and a lot of nuts and fruits, such as baobab and tamarind. Meals typically included thick pounded porridges and soups, often with modest amount of meat or fish, relying heavily on fermentation and boiling for cooking. Yes, boiling for cooking. They didn't actually fry their food, because right now the likes of KFC, the oils that comes out of the meat is actually not good for you as an African individual. That's what they're saying right now. It relied heavily on fermentation and boiling for cooking. You also do have the high fiber and nutrients, and the diet was so rich in whole grains and fiber, which studies suggest help protect against many modern chronic diseases because it was high in fiber. Also sustainable and local. Food are sourced directly from the local environment and agricultural plots from the land, often cultivated by women, because at the time our land was not actually poisoned, because even the seeds right now that they're using definitely affects our soil. Also, cooking techniques. Cooking methods included boiling, steaming, and fermentation. That's a really, really key factor over there. How they actually use to prepare their foods, or how we should prepare most of our foods. The cooking techniques really mattered. Cooking methods included boiling, steaming, and fermentation, particularly for preparing cereals like sorghum and millet. But also evolution and also change came about. And while these traditional diets sustained populations for thousands of years, they began to shift with the introduction of new world crops. And later, during colonization, with the promotion of cash crops like wheat and sugarcane, replacing traditional millets and sorghum. But there's a really, really good point over there on how the food were literally prepared, and the main methods included boiling, steaming, and fermentation. But let's go back to another conversation before I go back to Joshua Mponga sharing his point over there on how Yaki is talking more about food is used as a weapon.
Real life. Real life street stars. We got him in the building. Yaki Awakened in the building, man.
In the building, I'm here in the flesh.
Man, this is a special episode. I feel like as of recent, we're getting real deep conversations, meaningful conversations. Mm-hmm. And when I look at somebody like yourself, I can only see good things, knowledge being spread, and things like that coming to this. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on the couch. From what you do for your community, what you do for the conscious community, what you do for the Black community as a whole, for you to come and do this interview with us, man, we really do truly appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all for having me here, man.
Yeah, first and foremost, I think it would only be right, man, since you are a, first-time Blue Couch member, you know what I mean? I think, I don't really like tapping into other people's interviews when I'm interviewing somebody because I want to hear from them, you know what I mean? So I just want to know about, your upbringing and how you got into this health space. Because I've heard things, I've seen interviews, but I want to hear from your mouth. Like, how did Yaki become Yaki?
Well, I'm from the streets of St. Louis, Missouri.
Oof.
One of the roughest streets in America.
Yeah.
They call it the murder capital.
Yeah.
Then the bed, like when you have a true change in consciousness, it's immediate. It's not really no steps or nothing to it. That's why I don't believe in anybody to be like, they on a 12-step program. You either gonna continue doing what you're doing or you gonna stop doing what you're doing. So I stopped. But I ended up getting on YouTube and I was typing in natural ways to cure erectile dysfunction. Yeah. And a Caucasian man popped up, listened to him, but I couldn't really vibe with the frequency.
Right. And
then after that, YouTube had just came out with these suggestions. After a video leave, another person popped up. And I seen this tall, skinny, brown-skinned man with a gray beard, bald head, talking about IPL leukemia, sickle cell anemia, herpes, AIDS, and he was talking about something called Usha Village. And I said in my head, I'm like, man, this man lying. Because at this point, I don't believe in all this. There's certain diseases that's incurable. You can't get rid of it.
Right.
But as I sat down and I kept listening, everything he said not only felt good to my spirit and to my soul, but it made sense. And then I locked in. But I got a very addictive personality. That's why I'm able to retain so much knowledge that I do have.
Right.
So, man, I sat down on my couch for 48 hours, man, didn't move. I probably used the bathroom 2 times. And I got me a big old notebook and a pen. It was my son's notebook. And I wrote down everything he was talking about. And I ended up getting in contact with my eye. And, with my eye facility in New York. And I was just talking, asking about certain herbs and stuff, and they gave me a herb, and it took off from there. Once they started talking about to mention the herb, right. I said, I want to study herbs. And that's when my life just changed, man. I ended up going on a 120-day juice fast, nothing but juice.
Damn.
That's it. I lost so much weight, man. And everybody
Can you explain, tell me, where were you at before and where were you at after?
At around this point, I was around 240. I'm 5'6", y'all, so I'm not tall.
Right.
Imagine that being 240.
It should definitely be intentional. And looking at the types of food that are eating right now, it's actually not reviving your body. So if you're literally intentional about being healthy and the kind of food that you're consuming, you definitely have to go back to the ancient African diet. And Yaki is always so high on that. And I know he's going to mention Dr. Sebi, who definitely has a legacy, a life-changing legacy, and depending on who you ask by the end of the day. And I do have a conversation where he actually did cure HIV and AIDS, sickle cells, anemia, cancer, asthma, and occasional blindness. He was also the man who was dragged into court on multiple occasions. In 1987, he was charged for practicing medicine without a license, a case he won, by the way. And then he was hit with a civil lawsuit from New York Attorney General's office, preventing him from making his so-called therapeutic claims in New York newspapers. He was an herbalist, pathologist, and biochemist whose popularization of the alkaline electric diet and herbal comforts offered a different path for people with ailments such as hypertension and diabetes. And yet to others, he was far from above board. Doubters called him a grifter and a fraud, while many skeptics sympathetic to his cause reasoned that he was more a master storyteller and a salesman. But he was a doctor who was not technically a doctor, but really a true doctor. And the fact that we do have the narrative that it's so hard to heal diseases such as cancer, asthma, HIV and AIDS, sickle cells at the time. And then this doctor comes up and say there's a way to do this, and there were facts to do this. And he was actually an ancient doctor, literally a herbalist, using everything ancient, African ancient way to actually heal these diseases, because it is possible. Dr. Savvy was the person who said on live radio that carrots were an artificial vegetable. The figure whose name and likeness are still associated with nature's cure all. Seymour's, absolutely 100%. One of my favorite supplement over there. But one of the main places Dr. Sebi's legacy exists is a lot less debated. Los Angeles, his home base for decades, the city whose openness to unconventionality and hunger for information served as a muse for his holistic teachings, has kept him alive in so many ways. Even 6 years after his death, bring up Dr. Sebi's name in certain rooms in Los Angeles, especially one where dried herbs line the walls and containers of sheer butter stock the shelves. And you'll see people's eye light up with recognition as we continue with Yaki Awakened.
Right.
So I got real big, man. And when I started, so how I did it was I weaned myself off though. I didn't go straight on to the juices.
Right.
I stopped the meat. Then I stopped the little dairy that I was consuming. I wasn't consuming too much dairy because I'm lactose intolerant. As soon as I eat some dairy products, I don't possess that enzyme lactase to break down lactose. I'm getting the BGs and going straight to the toilet.
I'm with you on that.
But I stopped the meat. Then I stopped the dairy. And then after I stopped the dairy, I was already enrolled into a nutrition class. So once I started taking that nutrition class and learning about, the biology of food and the molecular structure of food and how it interacts with our human biology and our physiology, man, it just made me say, look, I'm gonna do all juice. I ran across this Caucasian man named John Rose. Old man, he like 70, but he looked like he 30. 6 packs, pecs, triceps, biceps, in the damn woods with no shirt on, having his fingers like this, talking to us while the sun beaming down on him. And I'm like, man, this don't look right, but he looked so healthy.
Right.
And he said something about a solid food vacation. He was like, you need to do a solid food vacation. And then in the comments under the video, they asked how long. He said, until you don't have the disease you was diagnosed with.
Whoa.
So that started my journey. So I went on an all juice fast. I call it my famous geogenetic juice down. There's over literally 5 million people right now that have taken the geogenetic juice and then wean themselves off and don't have diabetes and things like that no more, just from the juice.
Wow.
But I started making this juice, man. And the first time I went 30 days, I beat that hump. Then after the 30-day hump, I went to 40. I beat that hump. And then this is when I knew that what Dr. Saban was saying was true. Because remember, I couldn't get an erection. On my 60th day, I had a hard on when I woke up like I used to get when I was 15.
Okay.
And so I'm like, because remember, at first I thought Saban was just saying something.
Right.
Then I'm like, nah, this is real. You know what I'm saying? I got an erection. And that gave me the fuel to just keep going, man. I looked up, taking those herbs and taking the juice. It was 120 days later, man, I went and get checked out. I didn't have scar tissue on my heart no more. My liver was good. My kidneys was functioning. I went to my nephrologist. I got a urinalysis test. My blood, urine nitrogen, my Bun's numbers was level. Everything was just leveled out. And I'm like, dang, I didn't heal myself of all of these different things that I had going on just by literally separating myself from the people I was hanging with, going on an all juice fast, staying away from solid foods and going on a solid food vacation. My whole body reverted back to what it's supposed to be when it's in a balance of homeostasis.
That's amazing, man. So, it's crazy because, just having healers on the show, right, and hearing the testimony, you start realizing, man, food is really, this is poison, man.
Yeah, food is a biological weapon. It's a bioengineered weapon. And the concept of this is by Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger was in the White House about a decade back. But, what happened was this. The Industrial Revolution is what really started killing us. Them stripping the soil of all the minerals, them fortifying the food with minerals, putting all this iron inside of our foods.
But also there's an agenda, because in the post-colonial era, they knew how the lifespan of an African was like, over 100 years, 150 years. And obviously, it's the kind of foods that we are consuming. So, how do we actually diminish the African population? By actually adding deadly chemicals into their foods and also telling them that food is not better and introducing another system that will definitely try and diminish them through their foods. And the likes of food that are being introduced right now into the world, it's not the foods we used to consume. So it gives you a perspective that it has all been an agenda to actually diminish the African community. Because, honey, we used to live like so many years because of what we're consuming and the land that we're in. But in the post-colonial era, they wouldn't actually teach you anything about the post-colonial era until the pre-colonial era. That's when we know like everything was actually contaminated. Our foods, our minds, name it.
The fortified foods, them stripping the soil of all the minerals, man, just to make this food grow a certain way. And then the herbicides and pesticides. I was just talking to a brother at my clinic the other day, and I said, I want you to get this concept, because he was just talking about food. I said, we spray poison on our food, but
Yeah.
bugs won't eat the food that we spray the poison on. And then we turn around and eat the food that we sprayed the poison on to keep the bugs from eating. Listen to how that sounds. We go out in fields and we spray poison called herbicides and pesticides on our foods to keep bugs from eating our food. And then we eat the food that we sprayed the poison on to keep the bugs from eating. And we wonder why we dying. And we just don't look at it like that. If it have the potential to kill biology, or if it have the potential to kill life, and it kills a squirrel, it can kill an ant, or it can kill a beetle, it can kill that, then why wouldn't it have an effect on our human biology? Because we are living entities. It makes no sense. But it's not only the food though, brother, it's the entire environment that's killing us.
It's so true, General Mosquito. It's all about money by the end of the day. And also, it was a way to diminish the African population because the kind of food the industrial industry actually introduced does not march with our immune system by the end of the day.
Like the
So
entire
it's monetary for them as they also continue to dominate and control Africa.
environment. We just talking about how we're walking, breathing in what you would call microplastics, breathing it in, and breathing in heavy metals. So it's the whole environment, man.
Man, that's depressing to hear, man. So, like, for you, right?
Mhm.
What would you say a typical meal looks like for Yaki now?
A typical meal.
Yeah.
It depends on if I'm eating raw. I'm primarily a frugivore, so I eat
Gotcha.
nothing but fruit for real. But I do
Gotcha.
got my 10%. And my 10%, I do my cooked foods. But every day I start off, I do what you'll call a dragon fruit acai bowl.
Okay.
Every day. I fast. I do 16-8 fasting rule, so I'm not eating until after 12. I break my fast, what they call breakfast, at 12 noon, between 12 noon and 1 o'clock. And then my last meal I typically have around 6 o'clock, unless we're traveling and I'm just hungry. So I do fruits through the day, and then I do a cooked solid food at night. I'll eat quinoa with everything. Quinoa is always on the dish. Chickpeas most likely gonna make the dish 98% of the time. But I love cooking, and I cook my own food. I mean, we got chefs and all of that, but I can really get down in the kitchen. So
Now,
As an African child, should be a necessity for you to consume a lot of vegetables each and every day. Vegetables and fruits should be part of your diet. Should be a part of the diet. And on the clock right now, it's 16:16, a confirmation that honey, health is your wealth. And right now, as I said earlier, our foods have always been contaminated, as Yaki is explaining right now. Dr. Mosquito, I understand. I mean, concurrent with what you're saying 100%, that the Industrial Revolution brought about foods that were easier to export and mass produce. It was all about money than health, and also to decrease the African population or the world's population. And General Mosquito is saying a typical meal for Yaki is grass irritant. It's good vegetables. Are you consuming vegetables on your end? We'll definitely dive into the next conversation as we're almost winding up because of time on how Bill Gates has actually been trying his best to actually diminish the African population. But I'm so excited right now because a lot of people understand and know what he's all about right now. And they see that name pop. They know, I know what you're doing. I know what you're all about. I'm going to play a video right now on Bill Gates' agenda and how he's been trying in different perspective to actually contaminate our foods and to diminish the African population. First of all, he bought apple cider company and he changed the ingredient. How about that?
Bragg's apple cider vinegar.
Uh-huh.
Bill Gates bought it.
Oh, God.
Bill Gates now owns one of the few natural healthy tonics we had, and he's putting the apples in it with
The appeal?
the creepy ass.
Oh, what is that? That's like a coating that they spray on the outside of
It's
vegetables.
like some schmegma to keep the apples preserved longer.
Is it just apples?
For Costco apples to stay fresher longer.
But what is in it?
I would love to know.
Ugh.
I would love to know.
These motherfuckers, they get stuff out there before anybody's aware that these things are a problem. And then like years later, you're like, what's in it?
Talc, asbestos.
Yeah.
And then you don't find out till later. So it's like talking about this and just being like, well, being suspicious about like, should apples last for 4 weeks? And then I guess he owns half of the McDonald's potatoes for the Bragg's.
Look at that. And also did have the conversation that I wanted to share right away, right now.
When you start to see people like Bill Gates gobble up farmland, and you read what his foundation says about farming, when they say that we're going to have a particular type of agriculture, they want large blocks run by the government or by private consortia where they say, we're not going to have animal-based proteins, we're not going to have stockyards, we're not going to have turkey farms, we're not going to have chicken. The academic mind always has the answers, but never in the real world.
Absolutely.
And they do a lot of damage.
I'm going to play that video again. Go ahead.
Reducing population growth, that's this big benefit. The key thing you can do to reduce population growth is actually improve health.
In the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
I would like to reduce the number of people on the planet because there's
As who? Honestly, as who?
too many of us.
When we invest in clean energy
Why does that bother you if there's too many of us?
and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
With too many
That's the one and only.
people. We have global warming because too many people are using too much stuff.
Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare.
There's no healthcare like healthcare. It's not healthcare. It's health like health scraper way.
Reproductive health services, we could lower that. We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein. So in the next 5 to 10 years, to the next pandemic, we'll solve all those problems. Reduce. What happens with beef? My climate group, Breakthrough Energy, just announced literally today.
This was the one that was introduced last year in Kenya.
An investment in an Australian group called Ruminate that helps cows not be so much a source of methane emissions. So we have two paths to solving that. That's 6% of global emissions are cows who burp and fart methane to an extreme degree. You can either fix the cows to stop them doing that, or you can make beef without the cow. And both of those will be pursued to see which one can lead to the best product in terms of taste, health, and cost.
That's the agenda, has always been the agenda to reduce the human population. And that's why as Africans right now, it is really important for us to stand in power, stand in truth, and actually revive our African ancient facts on how we used to live. We should definitely be intentional. And if we do have a lot of conversation about our identity, I always talk about our African identity, African ancient history. If we do have that and we pass that to the next generation, I believe it is really, really possible for us to revive our African identity and facts and truth and traditions and culture, name it, because we know where we stand. And if we do have a knowledge of our African history, we have our power. If we understand our identity, we definitely have our power. I will not be basically swayed back and forth, left and right, because we understand who we are and we understand everything that has been taught to us since we were a little kid has all been lies, and we still continue to believe the lies from people who have been teaching you lies and who want to actually, exterminate you. So that has been my Thai family here on Let's Talk with Ayrton. The conversation has been food, has been used as a weapon. It is still being used as a weapon. You're a mosquito saying true that, and also you're saying too many people means fear of genetic annihilation, and also it's hard to control, provide, and cater to overpopulated cities. But that has been my Thai family. Remember, honestly, because the conversation is food is used as a weapon. Download our app in the Google Play Store. Get your ashwagandha, beetroot, get your Monica Honey coffee. General Mosquito, have you ordered your beetroot yet? You should definitely be a greater example over here. I'm always taking my sea moss religiously each and every day, but right now I'll share some of the supplements we do have before I wind up.
Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
$3.90. That has been my time for the ones who've been listening to me on radio and the network on BitChute. My name is Ayrton Longoria. Always sending you so much love and light, understanding that you are the change you need to see in the world. We're always talking about redefining conversation here as we redefine Africa. But right now, have a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. And remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. Much love.
Greetings and salutations, massive your Jamaican brother.
Come on, I'm trying to share a video, my last video of the
ruminating last year. Yep. Let me think about this. Oh, wait, let me strategize this. Let me write this down. Let me journal about this. It's enough. It's actually enough. Enough. I feel like it's just an excuse for procrastination. You're definitely. Literally, being ready is not a feeling. It's a decision. It is a decision. And I guess that's the quote of 2026. Oh, oh, yes. Maybe we need to get it framed. I don't care if I don't feel ready. I'm doing it. Just do it. I'm doing it. And no one's gonna stop. Self-care, do it. Travel, do it. You want a new job? Do it. You want a new business? Do it. You want new friends? Do it. You want a new relationship? Do it. You want a new man? Do it. You want a new woman? Do it. Because she ain't between you, right? Do it. Do it. Child, do it. You want a new diet? Do it. You want a new body? Do it. Go get that BBL. If you wanna be... Or go to the gym. Go to the gym. Go to the gym. I take it back. Go to the gym. And you want that degree? Do it. You want to learn a new skill? Do it. You want to do a course? Do it. You want to earn more money? Do it. Do it, man. Do it. There is no limitation to what you can do. Do it. Do it. Do the damn thing.
Come on.
Dites-moi d'où il vient, enfin je saurai où je vais. Maman dit que lorsque tu es
keeping you company throughout the day. You're now listening to the best music. One hit at a time.
Feel the freshness.
Dis-moi tu cachais, ferme mille fois que j'aime, compte mes doigts. Où t'es, papa, où t'es, papa, où t'es, papa, où t'es.
I'm so sorry, Jerome Mosquito. He's asking, Iwaton, why? Because I love this song. And maybe I want to annoy you a little bit.
Keeping you company throughout the day.
All day, every day.